All right, let's dive into something that's, well, it's a little controversial. We're going to talk about a hidden rule of the workplace that, honestly, a lot of us learn the really hard way. It's this idea that the one quality we're always told is so important, kindness, might actually be the very thing holding you back.
Yeah, I know. That sounds just wrong, doesn't it? I mean, most of us think that being the go-to person, the reliable, nice guy at the office, is a fast track to success. But what if that instinct to always be helpful is actually making you invisible to the people who matter? By the end of this, you're going to see why the workplace doesn't always reward the helpers, it rewards the strategists.
So, what is this trap exactly? Well, it all starts with a person that I guarantee you know. In fact, some of you listening might be this person. And for our story, we're going to call him Dave.
So, meet Dave. Dave is the office hero, right? The guy everyone relies on. He's always the first one in the door and the last one to leave. He's the one who quietly cleans up his boss's typos before a big presentation. He covers for coworkers when they drop the ball. And Dave, he never, ever says no. Now, in his mind, he's making himself absolutely essential. Indispensable even. But here's the catch.
See, in the unspoken language of the corporate world, Dave isn't seen as a future leader. He's what they call a utility player. And a utility player is someone who's so good at doing a little bit of everything, at plugging all the little holes, that they become too useful right where they are. You don't promote a utility player, you just use them. Often you use them till they burn out.
To really get this, let's put Dave's story right next to his colleague Sarah, because their two approaches really show the massive difference between just working hard and working smart.
Okay, so last week, a huge project lands. Dave, wanting to be helpful, spends his whole weekend cleaning up a mess that somebody else made. He's working in the shadows, totally focused on the sheer volume of work. Now, Sarah isn't mean, but she is strategic. She gets that visibility trumps volume every single time. So while Dave was fixing typos, Sarah was in the boardroom presenting results. She works in the spotlight because she says yes only to the tasks that are going to have a big impact. So after months and months of being the office workhorse, the moment finally comes. Dave feels it's his time. He's put in the work, he's earned it. He builds up the courage, walks into his boss's office, totally ready for all that hard work to finally be recognized.
And his boss hits him with probably the most dangerous 5 words in the entire corporate world. Dave, you're just too valuable. And it wasn't a compliment. It was a career death sentence.
And this is the trap in a nutshell. By saying yes to absolutely everything, by being so incredibly helpful all the time, Dave made himself irreplaceable. Why would they promote him? Who would be left to do all the little things that kept the team running? He literally built his own prison. And the bars are made out of his own kindness.
Okay, so how do you get out of this trap without, becoming a total jerk? The answer is to shift your mindset. You have to become what we're going to call a benevolent assassin. And every good benevolent assassin lives by a very simple rulebook.
And here it is. It really boils down to 3 simple rules that can take you from being a helper to being a strategist. First, you've got to apply the 80-20 rule to favors. Second, you have to recognize something called the dopamine tax. And third, you have to master the strategic no. Let's break them down.
So, rule number 1 is all about working smarter, not harder. You've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, right? That 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. You need to apply that exact same logic to the favors you do. Before you say yes, just ask yourself one quick question. Does this thing have high visibility, or will it give a high return on investment for my career? Now, rule number 2 gets into some really fascinating psychology. Helping people feels good. It gives your brain a little hit of dopamine. It's a quick, easy win. But here's the thing. If that act of helping isn't moving your own goals forward, that good feeling comes at a price. It's basically a tax you're paying on your own future. You're trading long-term success for a short-term buzz. And finally, maybe the most powerful tool in the whole playbook, the strategic no. The secret here isn't just to say no. It's to frame your refusal as a deep commitment to your current priorities. So instead of a flat, I can't do it, you say something like, my absolute priority right now is getting Project X done, and I need to give it my full focus. See? It doesn't make you look unhelpful, it makes you look focused and signals that your time is incredibly valuable. So the real takeaway here is about a fundamental shift in how you see your role. The goal is not to stop being kind. The goal is to stop being a doormat and start being a strategist. It's about becoming necessary for your high-impact skills, not just for your niceness. Look, either way you go, it's going to be hard. Let's be real. Being a doormat is hard. It leads to burnout, feeling undervalued, and just plain resentment. But setting boundaries? That's hard too. It takes courage. It feels awkward at first. You just have to choose your hard. One path keeps you stuck. The other one, that leads to growth and respect.
And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. The next time someone asks you for a favor, the next time you're about to say yes, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, am I being helpful or am I being strategic? Because the answer to that question could change absolutely everything.